to climb Rakaposhi mountain, 25,550 feet high, a mountain which had not been climbed by man before. The expedition was privately organized by the undergraduates of Cambridge who came to Pakistan in the summer of 1954, and along with Pakistani members who joined it, it made an attempt to climb this mountain. This is their story. It was a poor man's expedition. It was entirely a private enterprise, and they didn't have many funds either to support them. The expeditions came, part of it by road and part by sea, assembled at Karachi and moved to Rawalpindi. We follow the course of the river all the way, and it's a pretty hazardous flight. In the distance is Nanga Parbat, a world famous mountain which was climbed by the Germans in 1954. We're getting Gilgit, our destination. You see these small villages tucked in the mountains all the way. The life is pretty hard for these people. Gilgit Airport is a very small one with a river on one side and mountains on the others. And these aeroplanes just manage to get in and get out. Sometimes these aeroplanes can't even get in, and the arrival of the aeroplanes is always an occasion for celebrations. The local dignitaries, friends, relatives, they all come and receive the passengers who have arrived, and there is a bit of a ceremony. Generally the guard turns out and is received by the dignitary. And many other local officials who have come to meet the party. It's a great sight to watch the aeroplane arriving and leaving. The expedition moves to the house of the resident, what you may call the governor of the area. He has a beautiful house with a lot of fruits and flowers at this time of the year. He's a gentleman in the middle with a white shirt, surrounded by members of the expedition. On his left is George Band, who's one of the finest mountaineers, and on the extreme left with the camera is Dr. Tisa, the leader of the expedition. We were entertained by him, and as a matter of fact we stayed there at his house. The flowers at this time of the year are in full blossom, and it's extremely picturesque sight around the governor's house. Gilgit Bazaar is world famous. It is a famous caravan route to Kashgar, Central Asia. Now of course no longer available to the free world because it's behind the Iron Curtain in Red China. But the bazaar is still full of people, tribes and men from many parts of Central Asia. The expedition starts from here on its way to Baltit. This is the Gilgit River, and the bridge is just wide enough for a jeep to go across it. And the road from there onward is part of the way, dry riverbed. From here the road goes up into the hills, and most of this road is made by hand. There's no machinery available, and when there's a big rock like this, they go underneath it, as you notice. The road follows the Hunza River. There's a mountain on one side and the deep, fast-flowing river on the other side. But these drivers are pretty good in driving over such hazardous roads. And in many places there's a danger of falling rocks. River, not Gilgit River. Big speed, which is rather frightening for those who are not used to this kind of roads. And you find often the driver has one foot hanging outside in case something happens. He's ready to jump off. Fortunately, such things don't happen often. In the distance you see Rakaposhi, the object of the expedition, one of the famous mountains in this part of the region. And this is another type of the bridge used commonly for crossing the Hunza River. You see it's being operated by hand. The bucket carries hardly 2 persons at a time. It's a pretty slow job, but nothing better is available. In due course, it is hoped that a bridge will be put across here. These Hunza Kotis and Nagar people are extremely helpful and willing. Roger Charlie and Fraser are riding in the bucket. Fraser, 2 years later, was killed in Nepal in a mountaineering expedition. Roger Charlie nowadays lives in New York. In the distance we now see Chalt, which is the summer capital of Mir of Nagar. And that's the view of a glacier showing the way up to the peak Rakaposhi in the distance. This is another type of bridge crossing from Nagar state to Hunza. The Mir of Hunza sent us horses and a party to receive and escort us to Baltit, the capital of Hunza. The beginning of the road is what you see, and what a rugged road too. When there's a storm or a landslide, the road disappears right down into the river, which you see in the distance. And many people, and I don't blame them either, for the hazardous ride you may have to. The local people don't mind, they're quite good at it. They will even gallop on this kind of road. But the members of the expedition were rather frightened, and they preferred to walk, and so you see the horse being led by the man who brought it. Now we are nearing Baltit, the capital of state. Every inch of available land is used for irrigation. The loads were carried on the back by Hunza Kotis, and these boxes were made in England, each weighing 60 pounds, serially numbered. These men would do about 10-15 miles a day very happily. Hunza is very fertile, and so is Nagar. But Nagar has more water and Hunza hasn't got water. These are the two states on each side of divides the two territories. Now you see another one of the members crossing it, and many a times there are some planks missing. If you're not used to it, with missing planks and the is having some difficulty in doing it. And there's always a man at the far end waiting for him in case he gets into difficulties. The water is pretty fast at this time, rushing from the mountain tops. The local people are so used. In the distance is the Golden Peak, still 9,000 feet high. It's called Golden Peak because the sun, when it shines against it, the expedition is now arriving at Nagar, the capital of Nagar state, where we were invited by the Mir to be his guest and to attend the harvest festival, which is called Ginani. This is held every year to celebrate the harvest festival. It is like Thanksgiving in United States. They take their crops through, collect the fruit, cut the grass, store up for the winter. They have a long winter when the whole country is covered with deep snow, and they don't go down into the plains but stay in their homes, animal and cattle. The arrival of the party was always a great. All the boys and girls and the elders will come and meet the party. School will close and the local the flag represents the state. This is the Mir himself, a very fine horseman,